Hey folks, this is Steve, and I'm going to show you how to do a face-mounted deck rail and how to create that molding symbol so it works for you. And the gurus know how to do this, but I thought I'd make a quick video just to show everybody else. And the first thing we're going to do is draw a deck, and so we'll just use the straight deck edge. And actually, let's use the straight deck railing, and let's define this so that we have some newels, but that's all. So the rail style here will be open. We don't need a top rail, we don't need a bottom rail. And let's make the newels 4x4s. And let's set it at 40.5. So just underneath our top rail. So that's our straight deck railing, and we won't really have a railing, we'll just have newels. Let's just take a look. So there you go. Got a little house here with, now we got a deck. Let's do a door and change this to glass panel. Make it 72. So we have French door there going out on our deck. Center it on the deck. And let's make our deck 4 inches lower than the house, like it probably would be, or a few inches lower anyway. So one thing you'll notice here about these newels is that they're like right on the edge of the deck, which is not normal, and that's because of the wall type. And I like to create my own wall type here, so just copy the existing wall type, and I just name this deck rail wall wide, and just adjust this here. Maybe make this 6, and what will happen is your newels will center on this wall, and that moved them both, moved everything in. And I'm surprised it didn't move them all, but let's just take this deck rail. As you can see, it's wider, and do this, and then they'll all adjust. There you go. So now they're set in like they normally would be, as if you were dropping them down under the deck and bracing them in the floor system below. So we have newels, and now we want to do a face-mounted deck rail, which is pretty standard deck railing. And I have created one, and I'll show you what happens when we put this on here. So it'll be like a molding pilot line, and just you need to take it off the edge that goes against the house. So just delete that edge, put it up there. Let's take a look, and there you have it. You got your face-mounted deck rail and your newels for support. Now, one thing you'll notice is it's not in the right location vertically, and that's because it always comes in at 7/8 high, which I think is the finished floor elevation. So we need to go -4 like the deck, and there you go. It's perfect. And 42-inch rail, 40.5-inch high newels, and you have your face-mounted deck rail. Now the key, of course, is how did I come up with this symbol? And I'll show you that right now. It's not that hard to make. If you look at this in vector view, you'll see the repeat pattern of the molding all the way around. It's 22.5 inches. And there's really no way in vector view to get rid of those check marks unless you make the molding longer, and then you'll have fewer check marks, but you'll still have them. So let's make this molding, and I'll do that in a new plan. And we want to draw that in elevation view. So I'll draw an elevation here, and we're just going to use polyline solids. So we do the top rail 22 -6 and make it 1.5 inches thick, like a 2x6. And then another solid, and we'll draw it down here, and this will be our trim board, 22 inches long -8. We'll make it 8 inches, and we'll just leave it, comes in at 1 inch thick. We'll just leave it that way. These are probably not in the right location, but we'll fix that here in a second. Now to draw the balusters, we need an elevation from the side so that we can edit the baluster and clip it on the top and bottom. So again, another polyline solid, and we'll draw it 1.5 inches. Oops. minus 42 just to start with. And then we will clip these, and we will drag this down a bit and clip it. Now it's not in the right location because it never draws in the right location. It's right here. Oh, and I also have to make it 1.5 inches thick. So let's open that, change the thickness to 1.5. Now in plan view, let's just use point-to-point move. Grab that corner right there and move it over to here. There you go. And now let's fix the overall height because it's not right. We have to make this overall molding the height we want it. So it's hard. You can't really snap to anything like here. The snaps are hard to get. So use a CAD detail from view. And then let's just use polylines here and try to get our overall height. So minus 42, and that will set, that's the overall height we want our rail at above the deck. Now we know that the deck is 1.1 inches thick. So minus 1.125, 125. And then our trim board is 8 inches. So we'll make that minus 8. Then this is now our overall height of our molding. And as you can see, our 1x8 is actually too low, so we need to move it up. So I will just copy this over to here, use paste and hold position. And now I probably need one more line, and that is something right here so I can get a point. Alt V. Now you can move this, use point to point, set it right here. Let's move this up just a little bit, make it look the way we want. And because of trial and error, we could make this go right to the top here. And that would eliminate seeing the check marks on the outside of your deck, because this rail will be right where the line is every time. I mean this baluster. But I'm not sure that's realistic, so let's just pull it down. And that should do it. Let's take a look at that. And you can see what's coming together here. Now all we need is the rest of the balusters. So we'll go over here and we'll use multiple copy. Set them at 5.5, which I had already decided. So, and if you see, if I drew one more baluster right here, this baluster becomes this baluster, and the molding just keeps repeating. But we don't need that one. So let's look at this, and now we got it. All we need to do is paint it. So I like to paint things different colors when I create these symbols so that I can paint them as components later. So let's paint that bone, paint the balusters treated. And let's paint the handrail something else. I think I have honey and oak or hickory honey here. And let's just change that grain direction. Use the adjust material definition tool. And on the texture tab, change that angle to 90. There you go. Now we're ready to create a symbol. Tools, symbol, convert to symbol. Make it a molding. And then give it a name of some type, like deck rail, molding, 1. Let's just say 1, or 2. I already got one in there. And the one trick to this is we have to adjust the X, Y, and Z. And the reason for that is when we pull it in, we want the line that we're using to be the face of this 1x8 right here. So we need to move the X in, and the way we do that is by moving the symbol back along the Y. And we know the baluster is 1.5 inches and the 1x trim is 1 inch, so we're going to move it up the Y 2.5 inches. And there you go. Now the X is right along the face of that. The other thing we want to do is drop this 1x8 down below the decking. And the board is 8 and the decking is 1 1/8, so we have to subtract 9.125, 9 1/8 inches. And as you can see, the X now, the line is right where our deck boards will be. And that's pretty much all you need to do, and you got your deck railing face mount deck rail. And if we go back over here and we take this one off, we take a look at it. Okay, we got our deck with Newels. We grab our new deck rail molding we just made, and it'll come in as a polyline, molding polyline. Take it off this edge, pull it back to the house, and there you go. Of course, it's not in the right location because it comes in at 7/8 right here. You just need to make it -4 like the deck, and it'll be perfect. There you go. And I hope that helps. Quick video on how to make a face-mounted deck rail with Newels.